I wanted to share something with you that's been happening quite a bit to me lately, and that's interrupting. Okay? We all do it and we all experience it. So, I want to talk about it. So, the first type of interrupting is the interrupter who just derails a conversation. Okay, so you're talking about something and they just deliberately interrupt you and change the topic. Okay, whether they're distracted by something in the field, or even distracted that their phone made a sound, so they check the phone rather than listening to you, or just change the topic in a sense that it's just has nothing to do with what you're talking about, or maybe it kind of did, but just that kind of interrupting. So the person is not valuing your content of what you're sharing. They just start changing the topic as if what they have to say matters more. The other type of interrupter is the one that kind of talks over you. They might be listening to what you're talking about, but they kind of jump in and interrupt and try to take over the conversation. Or they think that they know what you're going to say and they just interrupt you and try to finish your words. So again, this person is disrespecting you because they're not valuing that you have the floor and that you get to say what you want to say. They just take over and want to have control of the conversation rather than actually hear you and listen to what you have to say. Another form of interrupting is the person that is just consistently chiming in. So it might look like this person wants to have a conversation with you by, commenting on everything you're saying, or maybe quickly tangent from what you said, but comes back, so they're engaging in the conversation, but they're still interrupting because you're trying to talk and they're not fully being present for what you want to express, and they're just consistently adding what they want to add into the conversation, which isn't a conversation because you have the floor. This type of interrupting could be based in anxiety, insecurity, or just impatience, okay? Like, I want that person to hurry up and talk because I have a thought and I want to share it, rather than just, absorbing somebody else's, words and then being able to respond, right? So as you can see, there's different ways that people just take over and don't really have any regard for you. There's no boundaries. They just come in and try to take over. And it's fucking annoying. It's really fucking annoying when someone doesn't give you the space and time and presence, right? Everyone's very go in society. So it's like, oh, hurry up the conversation. Let me have my word. Let me get my thoughts. Let me have control. Let me have power. A lot of ego centered with a lot of interrupters, right? So it's like, your thoughts don't matter. Mine do, a lot of content. So there's some ways we can deal with this. What I've been doing lately, and I don't know if this is necessarily right or not, but this is what I've been trying. If I'm talking and I'm in the middle of sentences and somebody comes in and starts talking, I don't stop. Just because you started doesn't mean that I'm going to stop. I'm still finishing my thought. And so there's two ways that I've noticed that this works. First, the first person will notice that I'm not stopping, and then they'll stop because they realize they're being rude and let me speak, and then they can chime in. So it's kind of my way of saying no. The other one is the power hungry people. They're the kind of people that they're not going to stop either. They're like, no, I want the floor now. My thought matters more. Those are the people that I try not to engage with because they show disrespect. They're not holding space. And so how can I trust somebody like that, right? Because it's all about them and what they have to say, and there's no equal exchange. So those are the people that I note that this is somebody I don't want close, because there's no way to even have any form of intimacy, whether that's like a business relationship or a friendship or even a partnership. If someone does not have balance in conversation and can't hear me and have exchange, appropriate, respectful exchange, then that's not the kind of energy I really want in my field. So by me doing this, I'm not trying to be power hungry myself. I'm just trying to say, this is my boundary. It's my turn. It's my turn. So it's a general nice way without actually saying, hey, you're interrupting me. Now, the other way would be somehow to politely tell somebody that, hey, do you mind if I finish my thought before you chime in? Or actually, if someone's interrupting you and changing the topic, actually, that's not what I was talking about. If we could come back to what I was saying. Or, if they keep interrupting, then there's no point to continue having a conversation. I mean, why waste your breath? You're not going to get through anyway, right? So, yeah, it can be very challenging to deal with people when they're doing this. Now, I notice that I sometimes interrupt too. I'm generally the third type of interrupter, where I want the person to know I'm present, so I chime in or whatever. But I notice, and I apologize when I notice I'm doing that, because I'm being disrespectful. I'm not giving them the full floor to have their word and exchange and outlet before I share what I want to share. So conversation can be good when it's a conversation time, but someone's in the middle of telling a story or something, like, wait your turn, be respectful. We all have a mouth, we all have ears. Let's all just be respectful to everybody and allow people to feel heard and safe.